have this feeling or fear that he settled for you. You know, even though you know that he married you, he built a life with you, he went through some deep, deep, bad stuff with you, and he chose to stay with you instead of the other person, and he chose to suffer for years with you as you recover from infidelity, and still there's a voice in your head that says, he settled for me. Does that sound familiar? Does that voice sometimes come up? If it does, look, you're in the perfect place. I get it. I've been there so many times. Gosh, I've been there. It's kind of one of the worst thoughts a person can have. You look at your person and you think, you know what? Did it settle for me? Because it's better the devil that you know than the one you don't, right? Did it settle for me because he didn't want to look bad in front of his family, or because of the kids, or doesn't want to split the whatever wealth he may have acquired, or whatever that is, right? It's like, I am not his first choice, because if I was, he wouldn't have done what he did. He would be thinking about me, but he wasn't. Since he wasn't thinking about me, I was not his first choice. Therefore, he's with me out of pity, and he did settle, right? And then you convince yourself of that being the truth. Look, I remember when we experienced our downfall, and I remember asking him if he liked the other person better, and he said absolutely not, but I never believed it. I thought that he settled for me simply because he hurt me. He knew what he did to me, and he felt obligated to stay with me. You know, I mean, we're young. We were 26 at the time. So young people make some decisions that they don't think longevity. They don't think, oh, am I still going to want to be with this person in 60 years from now? Am I still going to regret that? So we do regretting for them. We do the regretting, right? We have a habit of deciding for them, because if we decide that the victims of the infidelity, if we decide, then it doesn't give them as much power, right? It takes their power away, because I already knew that, I already decided that, right? If that is somewhere where you're finding yourself, I really want to applaud you for, first of all, finding this video, finding somebody who relates to you, and for wanting to do something about it. Okay? And here's the thing. When James and I decided to heal our marriage, as you know from previous videos, we tried individual therapy, couples counseling, books, seminars, courses, you name it, and nothing worked in our case, because everything was a theory, and everything was like somebody else telling us because what they believed. They were right. They had the resources, they had the tools, they had the theories, but they had not been in our shoes. They don't know what it's like to be the woman who is a victim of infidelity and still chooses to see past it and rebuild, and have the husband who is the person who caused all of that pain still work his butt off every single day to regain a trust that he knows fully well that he lost, maybe even forever. Now, people whose help we sought, they just didn't have that experience. And because they didn't have that experience, we could never trust that they could get on our map. Does that make sense? So when we decided to take matters into our own hands and bring God into our marriage, again, and I always have to put this in a video, if you're not a fan of God, if you don't believe in God, then my videos are probably not going to resonate, because I do talk about God in my videos. because I do believe that my husband, who was a self-proclaimed atheist, when he fell down on his knees and he said, God, I can't do this without you anymore. I need you. I tried everything without you, and I need you going forward. Everything changed in our marriage. So when we decided to take matters into our own hands and bring God at the front and center of our marriage improved. And I can tell you that it obviously can happen to you too. Doesn't matter what happened, when it happened, how it happened. As long as both people are all in on a marriage, the repair can happen. The whole once a cheater, always a cheater, all of that stuff, none of that is true. Please know that I fully believe in restoration of a marriage through repatterning, and I've witnessed it every single day in my own marriage and the marriage of many others that I have had an opportunity, had the privilege to work with. So please know that your marriage is not doomed as long as both people want to be in it. So now, back to us, back to you believing that he settled for you. I can tell you that that belief did not start with him. He pulled the curtain on a long standing belief that formed many, many, many years ago, where you were a burden. You were somebody that could have been lived without, right? It's almost like you were a nuisance if you were not chosen. You were kind of, it's almost like if you're not, I'm not saying that this happened to you, but it's almost like if a woman got pregnant and didn't want to get pregnant and didn't want to have the baby, but couldn't have an abortion, couldn't give it up, couldn't do anything, and was kind of stuck, right? That is something, in some flavor of that is what you have been swimming in from a very young age. Somebody in your childhood made you feel like you were settled for, right? Maybe your parents wanted a boy and they ended up with another girl or something. It doesn't have to be this giant capital T trauma. It can be something like a little lowercase t trauma, but it is something that there was something at some point that your little mind, when you were little is what I mean, your little mind said, oh, this is why I'm not getting the love, the understanding, the compassion, the grace, the care that my siblings or my friends or some other people, or the kids in the movies are getting, or whatever it is. So that was decided upon a long time ago. And then when you and your husband found each other and you guys got fused together because of your own meaning of life that you have created, and when he committed infidelity and then he chose to stay with you, that little voice came up and said, oh, he settled for you. Oh, he caused you so much pain, so he didn't want to leave you. Or, oh, he settled for you because it's better for the children. And oh my goodness, what if one day he wants to leave when the kids grow up, or when something happens, right? And you just live it. It's like a thorn, and it doesn't hurt enough to blow everything up, but it's constantly nagging at you. And that, my friend, unless that thorn is removed, it's like almost like every time somebody pokes at it or pushes at it, you're like, oh, this is so irritating. Why are we here again? So it is always going to be a painful experience unless you both sit down and say, look, this is unfortunate what happened in our relationship, but this started long before you, right? This is something that that you didn't cause, you just didn't create it. Therefore, it's not yours to control, it's not yours to fix, but it is yours to take ownership of. You brought it to surface, and I'm asking you for your help so that we can heal together. And he said his half of the equation is, you know what? Yeah, I did my thing. I did it for my own reason, whatever his reason is. I'm not in his head. And you didn't cause that to push me to make a mistake like this, but I'm asking you to help me out with this. And when you do that, when you two focus on helping each other and giving grace and seeing the person for the person that they are, not for a specific set of behaviors that they've had, and you have the ability or grow the ability to see that, the fusion that happens in your marriage is beyond anything you could have ever seen, is beyond anything you could have ever imagined. And the two of you will get so fused together that your level of love and connection and commitment, it's almost like a movie to a normie, right? Somebody who didn't experience the pain that you've experienced. It becomes unreal as long as you're both in it fully. So I want to encourage you to start to believe that your marriage is absolutely not beyond fixing, that your marriage is actually on the precipice of healing and becoming everything that you have dreamed of and more. And I can tell you that that is absolutely possible for you, because it's happening in my own marriage, and it's happening in the marriages that I get to witness every single day. If you like this video, please subscribe.